Welcome back to Inscryption. I'm Akanar, and this is episode 10, where we've just managed to get the win against Magnificus, the third out of our 4 scribes here that we need to take down. And after getting that victory, Magnificus was trying to warn us about something. He was trying to make us aware of something, and then the game glitched out, and Magnificus was no more. So what has happened to Magnificus? What exactly is going on in this amazing, crazy video game? And that's what we're still trying to figure out here. So I wanted to take just a moment before we got started to collect my thoughts on what's been happening so far, because I think I've been confused about a couple things, or I've missed a couple key details and some dialogue that I have been reviewing. And one of the things that I was confused about was the events that have been happening here in New Game, this latter second stage of the game. I was thinking, or I got the idea, that this was a flashback, or that these events were happening prior to what happened with us in the cabin with Leshy at the start. And I was getting that idea because I sort of got this thing in my head that, well, isn't New Game supposed to happen before Continue? You have to start the game and click New Game before you continue, don't you? Except I think also the other thing that was mixing me up is that you have Luke Carter, you have this secret footage that does appear to be showing some stuff that is clearly before we started the game. It shows him digging up the floppy disk and all the lead up to him actually starting the game. So there are some like flashbacks that are happening, but one thing I forgot when I rechecked that clip of Luke booting up the game for the first time, putting in that floppy disk, it shows that he only had Continue available to him. He did not have New Game. And I think I completely missed that the first time. It just glossed over that very important detail. And so that clip dovetails exactly with us starting the game and me thinking that, oh, did I screw up because I booted up the game prematurely and accidentally started a new game and that's why I'm continuing? No, that's how it was designed, because that's what Luke did as well. And we are essentially Luke. So I think I have finally put those two details together. You also see in that clip, as he's recording his screen of booting up Inscryption, you eventually see kind of his camera footage melds with the screen, and we start playing the game. It's a very cool effect there. So anyway, all that to say that I finally think I understand that what we're doing in New Game here is not a flashback. This is just a continuation of what's been happening at the first stage of the game, because there's also dialogue that we have from some of the characters here, some of the scribes. We see PO3 walk into the cabin in New Game after we beat Leshy once again. And he has this conversation with Leshy where he says, "I'm done being your pet, you stinking beast." And that was the part that I focused on because I thought it was kind of a funny line. But what I missed, or what I overlooked, was what he said right before that, where he says, "It's no wonder we're back here again, and we would have been even sooner if the disc wasn't lost." If the disc wasn't lost, he's talking about the floppy disk, isn't he? That has to be what he's talking about. And how did I miss this the first time? And also, how does PO3 know about the floppy disk? What exactly is going on here? Perhaps this ties in with the note that we found from Magnificus to Grimora talking about the great transcendence and PO3's plot going far past the extent of a common power grab. You also had dialogue from Grimora where we first meet her, and she says, "Well, until recently I was disgraced, though I was returned to my former glory." She was returned to her former glory. I think this is talking about her being trapped in the card as the stink bug. More evidence that what we're seeing in New Game and what's happening here in the land of the 4 scribes, if you will, is all part of the continuation of events from what happened the first few episodes with Leshy in the cabin. Anyway, hopefully that clears up things a little bit in terms of my thoughts and maybe what I have been missing so far. And I'm sure that there are still probably some things that I am missing and some details that I've been overlooking, but this is why I take notes. So the things that I do miss in the moment, hopefully I can catch later on. Okay, let's get started here. One of the things that we did, in addition to taking down Magnificus, we did manage to, well, we found a tentacle in a bathtub. And I don't know exactly what happened with that tentacle, but I'm wondering, I have an idea about that tentacle. Let's first go back here, but I still don't think there's anything that's, yeah, well, nothing's gonna happen here until we finally beat all 4 of the scribes, I don't think. So we gotta come back once that 4th portion has been lit up. Is this, I didn't realize we could step here. Is this we can go here? Oh my God, talk about missing things. It's the mycologists. I did not even see that there's another building here on the map that we could go to. Also, there is, could we walk? Okay, something in my footage that I was thinking about doing was walking to the right past Grimora's crypt. Not somewhere we can go, but there is a building here that we've totally not visited. The mycologists are here. Okay, hold on. First, we got to do these things in sequence because I've got a couple things I want to do here now. I'm starting to look more closely at this map and thinking or wondering if there are other things that I have missed. There is, I saw this bridge over here and I thought, it made me think of the bridge builder or bridge fixer. And I thought, well, why is this little incomplete bridge over here? Or I guess maybe it's a dock. Because isn't that a raft? And the angler's here. Holy crap. Okay, things have been missed, but we're gonna try to rectify that. First things first here, the tentacle in the bathtub. I wondered if that maybe could be possibly connected to this offering that we're supposed to bring to this guy. Can a tentacle be an offering? Question mark? Uh-huh. You have no offering. Okay. So a tentacle doesn't count. I don't even know if we picked up the tentacle. I don't think we did. But it's not like we have an inventory other than the cards that we're carrying around. So yeah, that is... I don't know what we're supposed to do with the tentacle. Don't know yet. Is there anything to do... Did we talk to this guy after solving the puzzle? Yes, I think we did. You must be excited, but please do not bark. I remember that line. And then I'm guessing Grimoire is not going to have anything new to say. Go, I need to collect my thoughts. Okay. I was just collecting my own thoughts. So thoughts have been collected, or are being collected. Now, the mycologists are here. I totally missed you guys, sorry. We could have maybe even... Are they going to let us combine cards like we could in the other game mode? And power them up? Uh-oh, you have found us here. This is good? Yes, I finally did find you. After, who knows how long. This is good. We require duplicates. Do you see the diagram? 2 of that. Oh, 2 of this card in particular? Thank you? Oh, you have the cards? It is specifically looking for 2 gravediggers. Okay, well, we're gonna do this because I'm hoping it's just like we had before. We get to combine stats. I would rather have the stats of 1 really powerful card as opposed to 2. Let's try it. This is good. Close your eyes. Yes, avert your eyes. This will be gruesome. They gotta do the mycologist thing here. Love the 8-bit sound effects. Okay, good. Thank you. Here is your prize. Okay, so I don't... Oh, it's the Spore Digger. It actually changed the name of the card. Are we getting to... We're getting to generate 2 bones. At the end of the owner's turn, Spore Digger will generate 1 bone. Also, it'll do the same thing. It'll generate another bone. That's so cool. I don't think we actually increase the stats, which is a difference from the other game mode where I thought we were going to be duplicating the health. But we're duplicating the sigil, which is even better. So, okay, card has been added to our collection. Nice. Now, is there... I was going to say, are they going to replace with another card? The field mice come in. I don't know if this is just a random thing. The card that gets selected by the mycologists. Maybe there's a preset order here on what they offer. But we only have the 1 field mice. So I don't think we're going to be able to duplicate. Do you see the diagram? 2 of that. Please? Okay, so we got to come back. They're not just going to... this was maybe would have been too overpowered if we had just been able to combine all of our duplicates and make one just massively overpowered deck that has like a buffed up Mantis God and a buffed up Bone Heap and Mole Man, and probably would have been a little bit too strong to let us do that. But they do give us the Spore Digger. Let's see here. Well, I guess that took 2 cards out of our deck. It took the 2 Gravediggers that we had to make 1 Spore Digger. So we put the Spore Digger in, and then we need 1 more card to go in the place of the second Gravedigger. But we did have a 3rd Gravedigger. We could just put one of those back in, and then we could just start generating a whole bunch of bones. Is that what we want? I think so, because we have these things like Tomb Robbers and Bone Heaps that want bones. So let's do it and see how that feels. And then we have also this Headless Horseman that I forgot about. Could we actually afford this now? The lucky number 13 bones, that is what you have to pay. Maybe at some point, but until we actually get to 13 bones in, we would probably have to take out some of these Bone Heaps, right? Because the Bone Heaps are too hungry for the bones to allow us to afford the Headless Horseman. So we'd have to make that trade-off, I think. It would be so cool if you could combine all of your duplicates here at the mycologist. But field mice it is. We're not necessarily interested in playing field mice on their own. But if we get a souped-up mycologist enhanced version, maybe I might take a second look. Okay, there's another part over here that we haven't explored. There is a chest here. But let's try talking to the character. Well, let's open the chest. Let's open the chest. Oh, wait a second. The tentacles here. It's giving us a card. Okay. It gave us a Great Kraken card. Is this because we... Don't tell me, of course. But is this because we clicked on it in the bathtub and now it's here? Should we revisit some watery areas to find if this tentacle is moving around? Okay, the Great Kraken submerges itself during its opponent's turn. While submerged, opposing creatures attack its owner directly. So it has Waterborne. All right, so it does, I mean, it says it's a Great Kraken. It's only a 1-mana 1/1 with Waterborne. I feel like that's that's more like a mini Kraken. I feel like, okay, it's going to go in my collection. I don't know if it's going to go in my deck, but Great Kraken has been acquired. Interesting. There's also, okay, this is not a pack. It's another just card. The Salmon, which is what we saw in the fight against the Angler. Now, it does say, it's interesting that it says Waterborne on this card. Why doesn't it just say Waterborne on the Great Kraken? And it even had a different sigil, didn't it? Is there a detail there that I'm missing? And it also has Sprinter, but they're not calling it Sprinter. This is the thing that I guess, I don't know exactly how, why does it not just say Sprinter? Because it says Waterborne. If you're not going to spell out Waterborne, why do you need to spell out Sprinter? There's some inconsistency going on here. I don't get it. Our collection. Let me look at this again. No, I didn't want to add to my deck. Sorry. Apparently it is a rare card. I think the rare cards are the ones that are a little more shiny. By the way, a quick note here while I'm in the menu, but our buddy Steve here, I totally forgot until somebody in the comments reminded me that this is kind of a Hearthstone reference, because way back in the day, there was a Hearthstone card for the Shaman class that was a 4-mana 7/7. I forgot what the name was until they reminded me, but it's a Flame Wreathed, I can't even say it, Flame Wreathed Faceless. That was part of the Whispers of the Old God expansion. I totally forgot about the fact that there was a 4-mana 7/7. I think it did overload you for 2, so technically or theoretically it cost 6 mana, but it was a 7/7 that could come down on turn 4. And that was the important part. So this is a bit of a Hearthstone reference that I forgot about, because it's been forever since I played Hearthstone, and especially that set. So anyway, small note there, but I don't know quite why the Great Kraken doesn't just say Waterborne. So there you go. I think that description is exactly what Waterborne is supposed to be. All right, let's talk to you, our bridge fixer. How's it going? Oof. You probably saw that the bridge is fixed. Yeah, I've been using your bridge. Thank you very much. Now they want me to give you deck building tips. Like, use your rare cards. They are more powerful than common cards. But I sure am sick of being around these scribes. Each has a more twisted ambition than the last. I tell you. Yeah, use your rare cards. If you were a complete noob at card games, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't know that very simple. The thing is, that's not always true, right? Rare cards in some card games, well, I think both Magic and Hearthstone are perfect examples of the fact that certain epics or certain legendaries in Hearthstone are not necessarily going to be just good in any deck. You have to have very specific decks for them, or maybe they're just bad. There's definitely bad cards that exist, and it's not necessarily because one card is rarer than the other that it's automatically good. In this game, it seems to be the case. It does seem you get some pretty good, either well-statted minions or ones with very powerful effects like the Mantis God. But that may not necessarily be the case. But if you are a complete noob to card games, then I suppose that's not a bad tip to give, because in this game, the rarer cards are more powerful. Leshy, the guy's insane. Wants to use challengers like you as his playthings. To make it more perverse, he thinks you'll actually enjoy it. Oh yeah, try to use a mix of different types of cards in your deck to fully utilize your bones, blood, and energy. Aha! Now that is an interesting tip, because there's another thing I've been noticing about the energy and the combat that I had not picked up on before. And maybe we will do this, because once we get into combat, we might talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, they do maybe want us to try to use other archetypes in the same deck, which is not necessarily well, we are kind of doing that, right? We do have some blood in here, and we do have a little bit of Gamblobot. We are using some energy, but we might be able to use more energy, because what I hadn't noticed is that the energy is just automatically being generated. It's not something that we have to generate. It generates on its own every single turn. And it kind of does it, I think, like it does in Hearthstone, where you add an additional energy each turn. We'll get into combat here and I'll confirm that, but I think that's what I saw in editing. PO3, that bot is planning something all right. It's got the Dredger working overtime. Oh, the Dredger. I don't think we've met them yet. Huh? Oh. Many cards from other temples are better sacrifice fodder than squirrels. For example, bone heaps can be sacrificed early, but have utility in the late game. Aha! We were picking up on this already. We kind of did learn that on our own. It's sort of it didn't immediately occur to me when I put bone heaps in my deck, but then as we were playing out our game against either Magnificus or one of his pupils, I realized, oh, wait a second. The bone heap is basically a squirrel at the start. And so you can do that. You can have it as a squirrel if you need. It works as a squirrel in a pinch. Grimora wants to bring it all down, I swear. But more is a mercy, I think. She's probably right. There's some pretty nasty data on this disk. Okay, so this person is aware of this floppy disk as well. This is just part of the in-game universe. They know. How do they know? And what is this nasty data? A deck focused on so he's telling us bits about the story, and then he's like, oh yeah, I have to give them card tips as well. That's my job. So, card tip, a deck focused on magical cards can be very powerful. Try picking 2 of your best gem colors instead of going for all 3. Now, I have a feeling that if you are making a magical deck, you probably do need to be more focused on magic instead of trying to splash energy and blood and doing all the things at the same time. I don't think just putting 2 or 3 magical cards in our deck is going to be super good because of the way that we've seen that the Mox cards and the other supporting cards interact with each other. But it's good to know that if you do focus on magic, probably better to focus on 2 out of 3. Gems. Cards with activated abilities are some of the most powerful. Balance your resources accordingly. What, you want to know about Magnificus? Mysterious guy. We all have our theories, of course. Some say he actually wants... No, it's too terrible to say. Tell me, what are you hiding? And what was Magnificus hiding? What is this extra? He maybe thought that the game was going to glitch out and disappear him as well if he said it. All right, we have exhausted the dialogue from our bridge fixer here and gotten some interesting card tips in the process. The angler, what's going on here, friend? Friend? Are we friends now? Sometimes I try this spot. Find good fish, corrupted fish, old fish. Okay, what is this underscore here? What is this underscore? It's like we're naming, the programmer in me is like we're naming a state variable here. Why do you have an underscore? What? Boat, scribe only. In case bad happen. Backup plan, Leshy say. Ooh, that's intriguing. I was wondering, we can't walk onto the boat, and we can't presumably jump onto the boat. I'm pressing the space bar here. That does not jump. So the boat is not for us. It's for scribe only. Presumably only one scribe, Leshy, in case something bad happens, or in case the bad thing happens. That's interesting. I catch old fish last time. There's again the underscore. Good fish. Beat Dredger. Beat Goo. Beat Casey. Oh, did we face Casey? Oh, Casey was one of the skeletons in the crypt. I don't remember Goo, though. Oh, unless Goo was the name of the... That was the mistake, wasn't it? Did we get a name for Goo? I think... If we didn't get the name already, this gives it away. The pupil called Goo. Good fish. So Dredger is one of PO3's minions, if you will, I think. Leshy trust. I not disappoint. Fascinating. So Leshy has some sort of escape plan here. Perhaps he's going to try to escape before the final duel. Let's look in here one more time, just in case this card changed for some reason, but it is still field mice, so nothing to do with the mycologists. I'm glad we found them. Is there anything else on this board that I could be potentially overlooking? Any other places to go? I don't think so. I think we have now explored it all. Let's just quickly go back to nope, sorry, went too far. Let's quickly go back to Leshy and just... Oh, but the angler is over here as well. He moves between the two spots. Does he acknowledge that at all? Leshy trust, I'm not disappointed. It is... Oh, find corrupted fish. Find corrupted fish. Didn't we do that already with you? Or could we get something new for him? We've done this with the pelt already, right? Oh. This was not here before. We do need to re-explore these places now that we have the monocle. Because secrets could be found. Before we go there, let me just make sure. I don't think we can go off in this direction, right? So there's nothing to the left. And we can't interact with these creepy eyes over here, I don't think. Okay, but could we have gone this way before? Secret. Who is this? What are you doing? It looks like you're either combing some hair. I think that's what she's doing. She? Question mark? Few players visit me here. I sometimes ponder what my gameplay purpose was. This is so funny. This is the only thing I know to call it, which I'm not sure if it's correct or not, but this breaking of the fourth wall is what it feels like, because all these characters are conscious of what is going on in the game, that they're in a game, and that they're inside of a disc. This is hilarious. Who are you? Oh, it is clear now that you wish to know more. What can I tell you? I have glimpsed the old data. Old underscore data. Okay, so we have old underscore fish, and now we have old underscore data. We're digging into the forbidden database that's hidden on the disk. I have glimpsed the old data, and I will speak nothing of it as a kindness. Does she have like little totems placed around the area? I will repeat myself. I will speak nothing of the old data. To know it is to die. But you players are never deterred by that. What can I tell you? It is corrupt knowledge. So evil that it corrupted this disc. Inscryption the good? No. Inscryption the good? The old data has. We were just talking about the four mana 7/7 from the Whispers of the Old Gods, and that's what it feels like we're talking about now with the old data and the corruption that has happened on this disc. It feels very on brand for that particular Hearthstone expansion, sort of, in a very different way. But yeah, this is wild. All I can say. What can you know? Asked the scribes. They don't seem to care for human life. Who are you? Why are you here? How do you know all this? Leave me here to ponder and carve my wood. Okay, she's not combing her hair. She's carving her wood. Excuse me. Pardon me for thinking such a thing. That would confirm, though, that the little totems. I wonder if she's the one. Oh, it's the wood carver. It's the wood carver, of course. I was thinking to myself, this random character that we've never seen before. I forgot about the wood carver. I get the sense that we might have. Don't tell me for sure on this, but I am pretty experienced at card games, okay? I kind of know what I'm doing. I have a sense of what to do in card games and how to make the most out of value and extract the most value out of my cards, and also looking for very potent combinations of cards like we were able to find with the Mantis God and the Death Touch. That thing is broken. It's kind of broken even without the Death Touch, but then you throw Death Touch on the thing and it can obliterate 40 health moons in one fell swoop. So I've been wondering to myself how quickly we might have progressed through that first phase of the game, because we still didn't. There were at least two things that we left undone in that cabin. We didn't solve the final puzzle that was on the wall I think it was behind that chest that we opened, right? And you had those puzzles where we were unlocking cards like the caged wolf, and there was still one of them that we had not solved yet. We also had the mistake, the goo in the bottle that was still on the shelf there that we didn't do anything with because I thought it would maybe mess up my game when I had the broken Death Touch Mantis God, and I didn't want to screw that up somehow, screw up my deck or something. I don't know what was going to happen, but I thought we got a really good run going here. I don't want to screw it up. And so there might have been something that we could do with that. There might have been some things that we missed in that first stage of the game because of how quickly we moved through it, or what feels like quickly moving through it. So this is one of those where we never really got any good totem synergy going. Like, we had one totem, I think, that actually did something where we were getting bones, and even then we weren't really taking advantage of it. So I kind of completely forgot about the woodcarver, if I'm being honest, because that just wasn't a part of the game that we were really exposed to in any depth. And I was kind of avoiding those spots on the board because I didn't really like the totem synergies that I had been shown before. Anyway, I get this now. It's the woodcarver. Being Leshy's puppet has given me much to ponder. So she's another one of Leshy's puppets. Does that mean the prospector, the angler, all these characters that are adjacent to Leshy, are they all his puppets? But was he was even trying to make the stoat his puppet, right? And that's where he said, I'll be your, or he said pet. PO3 said, I'll be your pet no longer, you stinking beast. It feels like Leshy is trying to make more out of his position than he is justly afforded. Goodbye for now. So interesting. We found a hidden path and found the woodcarver. We're finding stuff we've missed today. This is why you have to revisit things in and out of game. There's nothing more to do with the dog. We've got the code there. We'll go back in the cabin in just a moment, but first I want to go over here. Well, let's talk to the prospector and see if there's anything new from him. The way to yonder pond is clear. He's still saying the same thing. And we've still got the big old fish hanging out over here. Okay, no tentacles, notably, though. That's one thing I was wondering if we might be finding here at the pond. Let's look in the cabin, because now we've got a monocle. We've got a monocle. No secrets from the monocle, huh? The Scribe of Beasts was defeated. Okay, so he's no updates from him. Let's check in here to see if there's any secrets. It's just the trader still. I don't know if I'm going to trade. I do have a lot of foils, and at some point maybe we want to upgrade our deck. Although if there was like a field mice card here, maybe I would buy that directly so we could get that powered up. Should I check at the other? I think the trader is the only place where we could get the field mice, probably. Because if we go to the trader at the other locations, like if we go back down here to the crypt and we check in with the trader, I think he's only going to be selling bones-related cards. Is that true? It seems to be true. Seems to be the case, right? Deathly packs and such. So the field mice cost blood, and so they're a beast. So that you would get those. You can, I think, get random cards from other, I don't know what you call them, classes or scribes, I guess. Cards that are associated with one of the 4 scribes can show up randomly in other packs. Like, we've opened magic packs and deathly packs that have blood-related things, I think. Okay, this is so much fun. I love the stuff we're discovering. Let's go check in with, well, PO3. Go into his lab, his conveyor belt of automatons. What exactly is going on here? Challenge me. Let's see your deck. He's analyzing our deck. Okay. Weak cards. Total lack of synergy. This pile really doesn't stand a chance against me. Look, I'm trying to finish up my conduit control list here. But the bots they're sending down the line are trash. Get those workers to send me something good. Tell them to throw themselves on the line if necessary. And please, have a decent deck by the time you're done. Dude is trashing our deck. Get that weak deck out of here. Did I lag? Figure out why they're sending me trash spots to scan. I don't think our deck is trash, but he's also made me a little self-conscious now. Because I haven't looked at this deck in a couple days. So I do want to just check it again here. Because now that I think I have a better idea of what's going on with energy, maybe we should just look at our energy cards to see what might be a good... See, I think I get why the energy bot makes sense now. Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, I thought that energy was a static resource. I thought it just meant, oh, I have 6 energy, and if I spend 2 of them, and to get 1 back for a 0/1, how does that make any sense? It doesn't make sense unless you are getting energy every turn. And this, now that I understand it, is actually a ramping card, I think. So if we play Energy Bot on turn 2, which is when we have 2 energy, I totally didn't see this until I was editing footage the other day. But if we play that on turn 2, now we are giving ourselves an extra energy cell, which means we've now ramped up basically into turn 4 on turn 3. On turn 3, we would have 4 energy, and we would be able to spend 4 energy worth on cards. Now, is that still... like, now it makes sense why something like this costs 6 energy. Because you're going to be able to play it on turn 6, or maybe sooner, if you have things that are giving you energy. And it might be interesting to actually look at these cards to see, are they more powerful than what I've been giving them credit for? And should I be putting more than 20 cards in my deck? I have the instinct from Magic to put the minimum, keep it at a minimum to make sure your best cards are getting drawn as often as possible. I still like our deck the way it is, so we're going to just keep playing it out, I think, and not worry about making too many overhaul changes. We can at least check in with the trader, though, and see what he's offering. So we do have the Techno Pack, is what it's called. And it does say 1 rare, 2 common Techno cards, and 2 common cards of any type. And I think that is probably the same pattern for the other packs. So there is a Curve Hopper. A Curve Hopper? It's a 2/3 for 4 energy. I think I get the joke here is because so far the other cards that we've seen are, like, we saw a 6 energy 2/2, and we saw a 3 energy 1/1. Those are the cards that we've collected so far. This is a 2/3 for 4 energy. It's hopping the curve. It's skipping ahead. Superior stats for its energy cost. That's not bad. That's why it's a rare, I think. So a 2/3 for 4 energy could be a pretty good card in our deck. Just to be another way to spend energy. Leap Bot is a 0/2 for 1 energy, and it will block an opposing creature bearing the Airborne Sigil. It's got reach. We have the Meat Bot already. And I don't think... Maybe we have one of these. The Thick Droid. A 1/3 for 5. Tempted to just buy this Curve Hopper just to have another energy card in our deck. What would we replace? What's like the weakest card in our deck right now? We could take out a Squirrel. Because we have these Bone Heaps, maybe that's what we do. Is maybe we should already just have replaced these... Like, take out 2 of these Squirrels. And replace them with some energy cards. And now this Heroical makes even more sense if you are playing an energy deck and you want to ramp, right? Being able to ramp your energy without paying any energy at all now makes so much more sense. I think I want to get that rare card. We do have a 2 of the thick droids. We could also get in another Gamblobot. Is that true? A second Gamblobot's not bad. You're only paying the 1 energy, right? So once it's on the board, you're going to be able to... Yeah, I'm going to put in another Gamblobot, and then... Now, will it let me exit here with only 19 cards? It does. So now I can go here, and let's go ahead and buy 1 Curve Hopper. Oh, and the next card up is an interesting one, the Mox Module. So for 3 energy, it will provide all 3 gems for 3 energy, and it's a 0/3. Mox Module. Does it count as a Mox card, I wonder? It says Mox in the name. Has to count as a Mox card, doesn't it? That seems extremely powerful if you're doing the magic stuff, which does seem interesting to me. For now, we're just going to put in our new card. Get the Curve Hopper in there. All right. Deck is set. Let's see if we can... Let's actually start a battle here. And maybe also explore this room. There might be some stuff to see in this room. Aha! There is something to see over here. You rummage through the junk cards and find a card pack. Nice. A Techno card pack hidden over in the junk pile. We open up a Bolt Hound. Was there a Magic Hound that we missed? We've seen a Bloodhound, we've seen a Bone Hound, and now a Bolt Hound. And it does the same as the other hounds do. And it's a 6 mana or a 6 energy 2/2. There's our Curve Hopper, by the way. If I didn't even need to spend 4 things. I could have just got this from the stupid pack. Oh well, mistakes were made. An Insectadrone, 3 energy, 1/1 for flying. Okay, that has flying, I should say. Stim Mage and Muscle Mage. We've gotten these 2 before. Cool. Do we want to throw another Curve Hopper in there? I'm not sure. I think it's just the 1 for now is what I want to do. Oh, what? There are puzzles here to solve. Ah, okay. We've got some puzzles. Now, some of these have the Conduit sigil on them, which I don't think I understand yet. So we might need to do a little bit of battle before we understand what's going on. Now, this one, I think we do have a card that has that sigil on it. I do need to remind myself what it is. Oh, I don't know if we actually have it or not. We might have only seen it at the trader. No, here it is. The Explode Bot. So when the Explode Bot dies, the creature opposing it, as well as adjacent friendly creatures, are dealt 10 damage. When the Explode Bot dies. The creature opposing it, as well as adjacent friendly creatures, are dealt 10 damage. So... how does that help me? That seems very unhelpful. Because why do I want this thing to attack at all? It's just going to get killed by this guy. It's not going to deal any face damage. So it feels like you want to do this. It feels like you want to do this. But then over here, okay, here's where it should work like this, right? The 1/1 is going to attack and kill this thing, which it's going to deal 10 damage to the creatures to the left and right of it. And this one over here is going to die, and then that's going to allow the 3/2 to hit face. So you get 2 and 3, that should be lethal. Easy. The lock unclasped and a drawer burst forth. It contained 2 card packs. Man, why did I spend those foils? Mistakes were made. Okay. Everything here we've seen before, except for the rare, Mrs. Bomb, a 3 energy 1/2. When Mrs. Bomb is played, fill all empty spaces with Explode Bots. Oh god, this is kind of like another Hearthstone card that I remember. Was it Dr. Boom? who was also a 7/7, but I think he was 7 mana or maybe 8 mana. I'm not sure. But when you played him, he put a whole bunch of bombs on your side of the board. And back in the day, in OG Hearthstone, or I guess he came out in Goblins and Gnomes, and which was like the very first Hearthstone expansion. He was a pretty good card back then. I don't know about these days. Anyway, this sounds very similar, except it's not a 7/7. Are these bombs good? I don't know. It feels like there's a big liability with these bombs, because if they couldn't they like chain reaction if they all are lined up next to each other and one of them dies? Won't they all just kill each other? Now they would also kill the opponent's creatures. So that trade-off is maybe worth putting in your deck. Okay, get in my collection. And then another Techno card pack. And we get another Mrs. Bomb, another Insectadrone, and this new card is a Sentry Drone. What is this sigil? When a creature moves into the space opposing Sentry Drone, they're dealt 1 damage. Just deals 1 damage as soon as I get it. Sentry Drone, okay. It's a motion detecting drone that zaps you. Okay. It's a 0/1 though, but it's only 1 energy. So, there's so many options for cards. So many card options to consider in this game mode. I don't know how the conduits work, so I think I want to come back to this one. Let's see if there are actual fights to get into here in this place. I would imagine there have to be some fights, right? Maybe. What the hell is this? Some of this is just some experimentation here to see what happens. Oh. You're not gonna let me look at that again to see what I did? Honestly, I was just sort of like playing with things in a very haphazard way, and I don't know if I learned whatever lesson needed to be learned there. We were building a conduit or a circuit, and it looked like we had to supply 1 energy somehow, but I'm not totally sure how we did that. Because when we put the circuits next to each other, they didn't supply any energy, but when we put a space in between them, then we got 1 energy. I gotta do one of those again to see if I learned the lesson or not. So do this one over here. We need 6 this time. And so these icons say +1 on them. And then we have a 1-1-0 in the middle. Right now we're only getting 2. Now if I put this one over here, and I put this one here. So, okay, so it's adding +1. So you've got these numbers that are kind of set in stone on the board. 0, 1, 1, 0. And if I cover one of the 1s, I lose it. Like, this +1 here doesn't actually get me +1. It ends up being like a -1. But then if I put this one over on top of the 0, now I've added... I guess it's adding 1 to the squares that are in between it and another plus conduit. So this one is adding 1 to this square, and this one is adding another 1 to this square, and that gets me 3. But that's not enough, because what I really need to do is I need to put this guy over here so that all of the squares in between it and the other circuit, I don't know, battery, whatever the hell this is, it's gonna add +1 to each of those squares. And because you have 2 +1s on either side, it's actually +2 to each square. And now you get 6 total. So that works. think I kind of get that. All right, seems simple enough, and now our bridge is built. Okay, we can't interact with any of these things on the conveyor belt, can we? Okay, I think maybe you're finally a card opponent for us. What is it? What do you want? Can't you see that I'm very busy here? He said that so fast I couldn't read it. What? PO3 isn't happy with my output, but I am merely the inspector. To put better bots on the line, I would need to... Just who are you to be carrying orders from PO3? PO3 would only trust someone with some semblance of card game skill. I am very busy, but I must know if you are qualified to give me orders. There we go. All right. Finally into an actual card game here to get things going. We've got the gear symbols on the board here. Very cool. And I just totally didn't notice this before, but turn 1, you have 1 energy, which means we can't afford this curve hopper. We're gonna have to wait, I think, 3 more turns. So that's a bit of a dead card in our hand here. But what do we have coming our way? We have buff conduit. Oh, and now the conduits make sense. Because what's gonna happen is that, okay, so you need a buff conduit on one side, and then you need a null conduit on the other end to complete it. So one conduit card without the other does nothing, I don't think. Because here it says other creatures within a circuit completed by buff conduit gain 1 power. So that means that this guy, the leap bot, is going to get 1 power because he's going to be between the buff conduit and the null conduit once they actually enter the board. I think I get that. Now, fortunately, that is not that big of a deal at the moment. Not that big of a deal, because we can actually just play a Mantis God right here, and I think that's going to wreck his game plan for the moment, and it's going to do a bunch of face damage. We're going to do 3 face damage, and then we're going to, next turn, kill this null conduit. So I think this is going to be totally fine. Because Mantis God OP. We get hit for 1, but that's no big deal. This leap bot is going to be here, but then he's not going to do any damage because this null conduit is going to die. So that's fine. We have 1 bone to play a Gravedigger. It's not our powered up Gravedigger, unfortunately. And we do have 2 energy this turn. It's Hearthstone. There is a Hearthstone element here where you're just getting a mana crystal every single turn. And in some cases, if you have the right cards, you can ramp those crystals. You just stop at 6 instead of 10. I get it, I get it, I get it. Okay, let's put the Gravedigger right here, question mark, to block whatever creature might come down and get powered by the conduits. But also he's going to have to play another null conduit, I think, in order to make any effect, to have any effect with these other cards. We get a bone. And okay, so buff conduit. Now the buff conduit is a little scarier, right? Now things are going to get a little nasty for us because my Mantis God is going to die this turn and we're not going to be killing him. Oh, okay. Speaking of mechanics that I have missed, here's another thing that I think I've been overlooking. This hammer. We had this hammer that we did use one time, and it just destroys your minions. It doesn't give you sacrifice blood. It just destroys your minions. And I thought, why would I want to do that? Maybe you want to do it because you've got an ice cube that you want to break open. Now, will it let us actually break open this ice cube? It says can't be sacrificed, but I don't think this is a sacrifice. I think we can just break the ice cube. That's how you make use of this hammer. Because now we can hit for lethal. The things were going to start to get a little scary with the 2 buff conduits on either side. It's a good thing the game didn't start that way. But we get there. Because I'm starting to actually learn, maybe, how to play this game mode, guys. Things that were missed are now being unmissed. The skeleton collapses into a pile of bones, but that doesn't matter because the game is over. GG's. Oh dear, your message from PO3 must indeed be genuine. As I mentioned, I am a mere inspector, not an engineer, not a designer. I cannot send new bots down the line, but I can send myself. I am proud to have served PO3 faithfully. Well met, stranger. He's just gonna put himself on the line? No! Oh my god. Okay, I kind of want to see if his... I want to see if this poor guy is... his head actually gonna go through the... I'm gonna wait until he's about to go into the next room, and then we're gonna cross over here and see. Do we actually... is the game actually smart enough? Does it track the state well enough to actually move him into the next room? Does it do that? It doesn't look like he moved into the next... No, there he is! There he is! Okay, let's talk to PO3 and see if he says anything. Did I lag? He's not responding. Will it do anything when these... So when they go by the little... I don't know what's happening here. They're getting flashed. Are they being uploaded or downloaded? They're being printed out into these cards is what's happening, right? So did we not just print him into a card? But he hasn't acknowledged it yet. Oh my god. And then is he gonna go over here and just be dropped off into nowhere? Do they actually keep this fully... I think he might be the next one. He is there! Okay. Goodbye! Goodbye, my friend. It was nice knowing you. You have... I do love that it keeps track of that. Okay, so one down. Presumably the rule of 3 applies as it did in the other instances, so let's find our way to the rest of the... Oh, there's something to interact with there. Hold on. Hold on. We got maybe 2 things to interact here. Interact with. There's so many potential interactions in these rooms. What else have I missed? Oh, it just gives us a techno card pack. Cool. And another curve hopper. Buff. Oh, now we're getting our conduit cards, which are really, well, maybe not the backbone. You don't have to have the conduit cards necessarily to be doing energy things, but they take up a board space. And the only, like, if you have 2 of these on either, one on either side, and so they're buffing the creatures in between them by 2 power. Is that a good enough effect to have just a 0/2 on the board that's eventually just going to get eaten by the opponent? I don't know. I don't know if that's good. Maybe it's really OP, and I'm not seeing it yet. Another card pack over here. Cool. And another Mrs. Bomb. Okay. So we got plenty of explosions that we could be unleashing. Explosive potential is in our collection. All right, now what is going on here? We have flaming... Okay, we're incinerating various things, and then we're stamping them into... Okay, I get it. Okay, so we've got the material that we're melting down, and then when it is in this meldable state, we're stamping with the correct imprint and forming the molten metal into the right shape and part. Okay, our assembly line is working, I guess as intended. Now we have a -1. A -1. We need 4 total. So is the -1 going to work like... It does work that way. So this is... Okay, so we just put this one over here. Oh, it added 1 to everything. Oh, so it's everything that is within the connective circuit. This entire, or conduit. This entire conduit, all of the squares, or these would be minions, theoretically, if this were a card battle. all of these guys that are not the conduit pieces are getting either added or subtracted to by the conduit parts. So +1 + 1 -1 turns 1 into 2. And also 1 into 2. Okay. Fair enough. And now this guy is going to be -1 + 1 + 0. And then what is this? We can just negate 1 square, period. We need to make 5. We want this to add up to 5. So what we could do, we want to have, well, right now we can't really add. Oh, okay, we could add 1. We could add 1 to, well, we could do it like this. We could just do this and this, right? Doesn't that work? I have to use all the pieces. Okay, so can I just put this here? Or does that cancel out the flow somehow? Oh. So putting this -1 even over here, it all of a sudden, it's part of the conduit. Okay, so that's not going to work. But putting this over here is not going to work either, because that's going to put me back to 4. Aha! This is what this is for. This is to cut out the -1 from the circuit, from the conduit. So now it's not being treated as one of the components. Instead, it's just breaking the conduit there and connecting it up to the 5 out of 5 in order to meet the requirement. Okay, there's not too many combinations to go through here. So that was a little bit of brute forcing on my part. I didn't necessarily understand what I was doing until it lined up, but you know, we're learning here. So this is, you gotta play around with the components until things line up the way they're supposed to. Cool. Let me out. Ha ha ha. What was that? I am the melter. They send me raw materials and well, you can see how it works. Let me out. Not another word out of you. We must have a card battle. Okay, that text is happening so fast. The let me out. It almost feels like there's another person talking. Like there's something else trapped inside of the melter that's asking to be let out. Is that what's going on here? In any case, we've got a card battle. And we've got squirrels. Okay. To be able to put our mole man into play, which is good. We have a conduit that's being made. Buff conduit we've seen, but now we have a factory conduit. Empty spaces within a circuit completed by factory conduit. Spawn leap bots at the end of the owner's turn. Oh God. So we're going to get powered up leap bots. All right, that's a little bit scary. I just have this skeleton in here. Just as a way to make more bones, huh? Okay. Well, the mole man's coming down. And, you know, it's gonna at least soak some damage. But otherwise, we can't really... I don't think I want to just use the skeleton to hit for one face. Our hand does nothing right now, so we need to get more value out of this. So we're gonna pass the turn, and we're gonna be on the defensive here. It's gonna construct leap bots at the end of every turn. This thing needs to die. This thing needs to get out of here. Okay. Broken obol. Oh, it's going to give us a bunch of bones, right? But I can't put it in play just yet. Even if this skeleton dies, still can't play the obol. So we're just passing the turn for now. This is kind of sucks, but at least our mole man is keeping us from taking a bunch of damage. There is another factory conduit on the way, which is once again annoying. But if we kill off this conduit on the left, then this is going to be fine. If the factory conduit here connects to the buff conduit, then I don't think we care about those two, because they're doing nothing until another conduit comes down somewhere over here. because they only affect the squares that are in between them. Correct? Okay, now I do have a Gamblo bot here. So the Gamblo bot, we want to play across from this factory conduit. Yep. We won't be able to power it up this turn because we're spending all our energy, but then we have 4 next turn. We'll be able to gamble until we have killed this factory conduit, and then I think we'll be in a much better spot. So let's gamble. Gamble again. We have to get at least 2. All right, there we go. 6 is good enough. Now we do have a bone heap. But we don't really have a lot of bones just yet. This skeleton... Now, the Gamblo bot is a pretty substantive threat. If we just leave it here, it's just going to kill him. So I think we're standing pat. Let's just go ahead and do this and let things play out. Because I think we win, right? There's nothing in this space. I think we just literally win. We can tomb robber, I guess, to make another skeleton, but then, like, it doesn't matter. We win. We win. There's really nothing else I can do to change the math on this. We're just getting the 1 foil. But another easy game. Okay, cool. Gamblo bot. Pretty decent. I like having this thing in my deck. Did we add a second one? I think we did. Right? I'll double check that here in a minute. It did it again! There was a very quick, help me! And then he's on to, excellent battle. Now with that aside, what did you come to tell me? PO3 wishes for better bots for his scanner. That is difficult. You see, I melt the metal, but I cannot reprogram the stamping machine. There is a way to send at least 1 new bot down the line. No, 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 no! There's somebody else trapped inside this guy, I think, who's trying to be let out. Ha 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 ha. Yes, for PO3. Oh my god, this is so bizarre. So he's going down the line too. He's been melted. He's been melted. Okay. All right. We don't even know which one he was, do we? Maybe he was this one. Maybe he was that one right there. Okay, let's play the... Well, I'm curious just to see if he's gonna go into the next room like before. But we do have to wait a little bit here. But maybe if I go into the next room, maybe it's just on a... We might not have to wait until the exact moment where he's gonna go into the next room. It may just happen on its own preset, like once you've set him into motion on the conveyor belt. At the same time, I don't... No, there he is! There he is right there! There he is! So now if we go into the next room, we might have to wait a little bit, but I think he's gonna show up like he did before. Oh, and now he's been... Wait, did he just transform into this? Did this transform him? There is a transformation that's going on here. They're being structured into something else at each stage of the assembly line. Now, even with him coming down the line and getting turned into a card, we can't actually use that card, which would be really cool. That would be a fun touch of flavor. There he is. There he is. Okay. I think that's all it is, though. It's just a bit of flavor that's being added to the mix. Now, we will watch him get imprinted here, and then we'll talk to PO3 again, but I don't think he's going to acknowledge that anything has happened. I think that's the melter, though. What about the person who was trapped inside, though? Or the other entity that was trapped inside? Still no acknowledgement from PO3. Let's see if we can open this one now, though. Maybe we understand how this works, because we've got a conduit. Yeah, I think actually we do get it now, because this is actually pretty straightforward. Not quite, because this doesn't actually give me the plus. This is giving me +1 to each of these, but that only gets me 4. That's not quite good enough. But if I do this, it is good enough. There we go. And we get 2 more card packs as a result. Cool, cool, cool. Sweet. We're understanding the rules, guys. We're understanding. There's not that many unique rares in the energy department, I don't think. We've just got Curve Hopper and the Mrs. Boom or whatever. So, another Pharaoh's Pets, Frankenstein. Okay. And let's open the other one. Mrs. Bomb, that's what it is, not Mrs. Boom. Close enough. Okay, all right, more cards, more cards. Good, good, good. Get them in our collection. And now we move on to the final stage. The final set of... Well, it looked like we're opening a trap door here to fall down somewhere. That's what it feels like. -5 of 3. All right, we've got some buffing to do. Now, if I just put... Let's say that if I just put the +1s all the way on the end, that actually is 1 more than what I want. But I also still need to place these. That completely breaks the circuit. I don't want that. This is not quite enough. I have to place both of these, right? I have to place both of the conduit breakers, circuit breakers. How do I do this in a way that doesn't completely break the circuit? Or how do I do this so that... What if I do it like this? This is still a problem because I want to cover this up, right? The fact that I can cover up a -2 is really good for me. But I really would rather maybe do... Ah, this is it, isn't it? That gets us there. Yeah, I was just like, how do we do this? We need to be able to cover up a -2 at the very least. But I also had to cover up 1 additional space, and the one that doesn't hurt me in any way is covering up this 0. This is the way that we get it to work. Cool. All right, that was a cool one. These are getting a little bit more complex, which I like. We need 5 total. We have a circuit breaker, and then we have a -1, +1, and a +0. This -3, we almost certainly are going to be covering up. We have to use all these pieces, right? So one way or the other, these are getting used. Well, the one that makes the most sense is just to do this, actually, right? I was going to say, I can make 5 by adding 3 and 2. And this is a net 0. -1, +1, and +0. So I just need to cover all the spaces that aren't 3 and aren't 2, right? And do them in the right order as well, so that I don't break my circuit. And that works. Easy game. All right, let's, down we go. Surely nothing bad can happen here. Into the basement we have descended. Can we talk to you? We can. We can also open up some card packs here first. Let's do that. We finally got a new rare, the Shutterbug. 5 energy. When Shutterbug damages another creature, that creature perishes. It's got Death Touch. So it's 5 energy, 1/1, and it also does this thing when a creature moves into the opposing space, it deals 1 damage. That's pretty powerful. It's only a 1/1, but at the same time... Now, I don't think the dealing them damage, this second sigil, doesn't apply Death Touch. It just deals 1 regular damage. Otherwise, this would be pretty impressive to just instantly kill anything that you place across from it. I don't think it works that way. Alrighty. Let's get the second pack here. And another new rare, Energy Conduit. Haven't we already seen this one? Or is this different? If Energy Conduit is part of a completed circuit, your energy never depletes? What? It's a 3 energy 1/2. Your energy never depletes. You can just keep spending your energy. Now, presumably it still has to ramp up. You don't just get 6 energy at the start of the game. But now it's not going to, whenever you spend energy, you're not going to lose it. So you could just, like, if you had 2 energy, you could play like 3 energy bots and just ramp all the way to 6 in one fell swoop. Interesting. Potentially very powerful. Still not going to put that in my deck just yet. I feel like there's a lot of experimentation that could be done, and I want to keep things simple at the moment, especially while we're kind of, you know, these battles, we're making it through them with our current decks. So things are fine. Oi, mate. I know what you're here for. You're asking me to take a dive. Well, I can't accommodate you, mate. Got special orders in it. Looking to dredge something special. We can duel. Aye. Maybe even give you something if you win. But I can't be taking a dive. PO3 will understand. Don't be taking a dive. Nobody's asking you to do that. Let's have a fair and straight up battle. Looks like we're going to be getting a nice turn 1 here. The opponent is playing nothing though. Okay, so I'm gonna get a wolf cub in play. Let's see. I don't know where exactly. I will put the wolf cub on the far left because this whole conduit business wants to have the conduit cards on the borders. So if I have a wolf facing opposite a 0 attack creature, that seems like a pretty good place to put it. And the ability to break up those conduits as soon as they hit the board is pretty good. Let's do it. I'm surprised he played nothing on turn 1. Now what, mate? Can't take my eyes off my work here. I'll give you this then. Wait, what? Excuse me? He's just forfeiting? Here, take your pack. What the hell? That was honestly kind of disappointing. I like doing card battles. Why did you just forfeit? He can't take his eyes off of his work. He's too busy. Another Shutterbug. And another Gamblebot. Well, alright, fine. Have it your way. Now off with you. I need to concentrate. Oi! Is that? PO3's gonna reward me big for this one. Wait, what? Wait, what is happening right now? There's something glitchy is happening. What in the fuck is going through this conveyor belt? What is this? We are seeing all sorts of different images from the card game so far are appearing in this one little cube. It's like, did he dredge up an old fish? Or did he, because he's got this tool that's like dragging stuff out of the water, putting it on the conveyor belt, and then forming it into these, I don't know, metallic, it's like he's recycling the junk. But this bit of junk is turning into like we see faces. I'm trying to pause it maybe at particular points because we can get a freeze frame of some of the faces, but I saw like one of the pupils that we battled against. The pupil that with the eyes that was dancing during the Magnificus fight. What is going on here? Off with ye. Still something you're after? I gave you your pack. Get off. Okay, we have to follow. Well, wait a second. Can I get out of here? Can I just teleport back up? Okay, there actually is a teleport beam that takes me back up. Okay, so we're definitely following this one this time. It's transforming into all of these different characters. We're seeing like the symbols for 3 blood. There's different card sigils that are appearing. And now it's being melted down. But it's still maintaining this. There was the new game symbol, or maybe continue. What the fuck is happening? This is so bizarre. This game is amazing. The way they're doing this is just so fascinating. We're gonna be taking our time here. We're gonna be watching and waiting for this thing to come through. At least we're gonna watch it a little bit before we move on to the next room, but I presume we're gonna see it here and it's gonna be doing the same glitchy weirdness, right? Or has it turned into this thing? Nope, here it comes. Okay, it just takes a minute. It just takes a minute. This is wild. So now it has turned into, I don't even know what. But now the images are a little more, I don't know, contained. It's not glitching out in the same way. So this stage of the assembly line has managed to form it a little more cohesively. I'm not going to speak to PO3 just yet. We're going to wait and just kind of see what happens with the assembly line here. Wait and observe. Because something's got to happen, right? Something weird is going to happen. We're Is this the moment where we get transported back into the previous game universe? What's going to happen? That's it? That's it? I kind of was thinking that the machine would break. Or the card that popped out would be glowing with radioactive energy that we might be able to spot with the monocle even. I don't know. And then it's just gonna fall off into the ether? There it goes. I didn't really try clicking on it. I don't know if I should have clicked on it, but it didn't seem, I don't think we saw any interact option at any point. So I don't know if I could have picked that up or done anything with it. Trader wouldn't have any thoughts on this. Let's go to PO3. The bots haven't gotten much better, but you battled all of my workers and you actually won? Yeah, 3 for 3. 3 very, especially the last one, 3 very hard-fought battles that were not automatically forfeited to me. Give me that deck again. What's he gonna do to our deck? Wow, you beat them with that? All right. Maybe there are some synergies that I missed. Let's go then. Yeah. Don't be underestimating my deck again, buddy. What the hell is this? You see those conveyor belts? Just like my factory. At the very least, they ought to test your lane positioning. Is he gonna rotate our cards with his? What the hell? If so, that's kind of amazing. Okay, and once again, as we've seen the whole time, or heard the whole time, the music is fantastic right off the bat. This is wild. Okay, so my brain is already breaking thinking about how we're gonna deal with a rotating board. Excuse me. I see a meat bot over here. That's pretty good if I get to make use of that. but also I don't have a lot of expensive things to sacrifice. This Inspector, is this new? Inspector may complete a circuit, but provides no effect. He is also a 1/1. A 1/1 that can also complete a circuit. That's pretty good. The Insectodrone we have seen. So the question is, when are these rotations going to happen? That's my big question mark here. Is it just going to be at the end of his turn or at the end of every turn? My turn and his? I don't know. So I kind of want to just maybe wait and see. Like, I take a hit and see what happens, and then I can... But I can also just put a Mole Man in play, right? And I should probably do that, because in the very worst case, I think we should put the Mole over here so it stays on my side of the board. And then it's going to move to block the Insectodrone and the Inspector, one after the other. And then the Mole Man would be here, and then the rotation takes place, and the Mole Man is still on our side of the board. So let's at least do that. Now, do I also play this Dredger? Maybe. But I don't think I need to, because the Mole Man is going to do the blocking for me. I don't need the Dredger to block yet. If anything, I might want the Dredger to come down and I kill it to get the skeleton to attack for one and hit something. Like one of these... The Insectodrone. Maybe. We'll see. But this idea that eventually our minions are going to become his minions, but his minions are going to be our minions, this could get interesting. All right, Mole Man at least, though, is doing his job. Keeping us healthy. Okay, so it happened at the end of his turn. Right? So Mole Man did end up where we thought. So the rotation only happens at the end of his turn. So Mole Man will once again move to block... Well, there's an Explode Bot now we have to worry about. Although that could help us. The Explode Bot could be very good for us if we get to attack it with the skeleton that's inside of the Dredger. And we're going to be getting this Meat Bot pretty soon. Which we would like. We can always... The thing is, you can always destroy something before it goes to his side of the board. Which is a pretty powerful... last resort. We have one bone, and I think it makes sense for us to play the Gravedigger over here to start farming those bones. We're not going to... Because we have this Explode Bot coming down, I'm not going to do anything with the Dredger just yet. Because that can be used at any time to kill this Explode Bot, and maybe we want to do that later once he's dropped something on the left side of the Explode Bot. So let's just pass the turn for now. Mole Man's going to do his work. And now this happens. Okay. So now there is a Melter that is coming down. And then when the Melter perishes, the creature inside is released in its place. The Melter is unfortunately already a 2/2, which is kind of scary. We have a Curve Hopper, but we don't have 4 energy this turn. So I'd like to be able to play this Gamblo Bot. I think I might just go ahead and... The Gamblo Bot is only going to be a 0/1 this turn. That's the only problem. So I'm not actually killing anything with the Gamblo Bot. So I kind of need... I think what I want to do is I want to take the Mole Man. I want to destroy it so I can put the Dredger down and destroy it so it hits the Explode Bot, and that kills the Insectodrone as well. That at least gets those off of the board. And then the Inspector is going to kill the Meat Bot, and then it's going to come to our side of the board. So that's fine-ish, I think. I think that's fine-ish. This gets us a bunch of bones as well, but we can't spend them just yet. We need a bone heap. The Mole Man's about to die anyway, so this is fine. And now that I know how this works, I can actually make proper effect or proper usage of this Dredger. Okay, I think that's basically all we can do this turn, though. I don't want to play the Gamblobot when it's just going to die to this Inspector. I could sacrifice the Gravedigger to play the Gamblobot. That is one thing I could do. So then it's on the board, and then I can spend all my energy next turn potentially gambling. But I could also just play a Curve Hopper next turn. So I'm going to pass the turn here. Okay, so the Explode Bot detonates. And it kills off things. Yep, there we go. Gravedigger digs up a bone. And now this happens. We take 2 damage. And there we go. Okay. So now I think, how do we do this? We just play the Curve Hopper right here, right? Play the Curve Hopper here. He's not playing anything yet coming down the pike. Now we do have two phases to go through here, so I do want to maybe save some fodder for the next phase. So maybe the Gamblobot doesn't get played now, but I think we can play the Curve Hopper here and just pass the turn, because now that kills that guy. Gravedigger gives us another bone. We got plenty of bones whenever we get a bone heap. And yeah, we can always just kill something before it goes to his side of the board. Or in this case, we could sacrifice to make a wolf cub that's going to turn into a 3/2. Our 1/1 over here is going to die to the Melter, but that's fine. It just soaks the damage. We're going to push 2 face. I think this is fine. We play the wolf cub. Now, at the same time, I could just get the Gamblobot in play, and we could potentially kill him this turn. But I did say I might want to save the Gamblobot for the next phase, which I think I will do. Let's just play it slow here, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. Wolf Cub hatches, or transcends, and then everything shifts over. And now we should be pushing Lethal. So I think we let Lethal get pushed, and we see what happens. There's Explode Bots coming down, so the Explode Bots are potentially just a liability. It's unfortunate that they do trade with whatever we throw at them, but they can also just clear his side of the board, so I think we let this happen. Oh, scanners online. Which card to scan? Just kidding. Obviously, the one with the best stats. Oh, the stat line could be better. So he thinks the 2/3 are the best stats? Oh, shit. Oh, he takes the card that has the best stats, and that becomes the empty spaces on his side of the board. Oh my god. Okay, shit. Well, oh, what the fuck? And then it shifted. Oh, wow. Okay, but we still get the first turn at least. But that's crazy. That is wild. I think this is still okay, because we have a bunch of bones to spend now, right? And we can start buffing our bone heap. And I think that's what I do. I buff the bone heap up to a 3/4, and maybe just a 4/5, and we go to town. The wolf cub. We just have to be careful about Lethal coming back the other way, but I think what I do is I destroy. Well, maybe I play the Mole Man, actually, because the Mole Man is going to soak whatever. Yeah, okay, so we do it like this. We sacrifice the Melter to play the Mole, and the Mole, it really doesn't matter where it gets played, other than I want to make sure I put the Bone Heap here, so it kills the 2/3. And we only have to put it to a 3/4 right now, so let's not waste our bones unnecessarily, because maybe we want to play this Broken Obol at some point. Not now, I don't think. But the Mole is going to actually move over here, and it's not going to be rotated onto his side of the board. So this works out very well for us. And maybe we're even hitting for lethal here. I think we are. And now I will hit for the extra lethal, if it'll let me. And we win. Excess damage, foils gained. Let's go. GG. Nice luck you had. I guess playing a perfect game is no match for good RNG. Oh, PO3 is salty. I have never once, guys, been salty about bad RNG during any of my games. All my years of playing Hearthstone and Magic, never once have I ever gotten tilted or salty over RNG. So I have no idea what PO3 is feeling right now. Wink, wink. Sarcasm intended. Our fourth scribe monument has been lit up. Another achievement accomplished. Automaton. Complete the Temple of Technology. I guess you won. Your ambition is to become the scribe of beasts? That soft-minded stump. You ought to reconsider. And we do get some card packs as our final reward. Another Mox module, which we did see at the trader, but this is our first that we actually have acquired. So new rare unlocked. Mummy Lord and a Hawk as well. And let's check our second pack. Another Mox module, cool. And a factory conduit, which I think we've seen. Yeah, this is the one that spawns leap bots. Some cool ideas to think about. And maybe we'll make some deck changes next time. That's it. He is so tilted right now, guys. He is so salty. I am still trying to figure out, though, exactly what happened with that extra special bit of junk that we were able to dredge up. Well, we didn't dredge it up, but it got dredged up by this dude. Still something you're after? I gave you your pack. He's not acknowledging it. He's pretending like it never happened. There's nothing that we can interact with on the sides here, is there? There's no tentacles that I've missed in this room. I think that we've done all that can be done in the Temple of Technology. So we'll just give another look around the place here to be sure, but I think this is where we will wrap up this installment of Inscryption. Thank you all for hanging out with me till the end of the video, and if you did enjoy it, please do consider doing the YouTube thing and hitting those buttons down below. It is so much appreciated. This game, I'm having a blast with the game, and I've definitely gotten used to the constructed game mode here. I'm still hoping that maybe we get to play more of the other game mode. But there's part of me that's starting to getting a little curious about experimenting with some other deck builds here. Like, the thing is, though, in terms of constructed, I am usually a net decker. I'm not drawn to the deck building process in this game mode nearly as much as I am the incremental deck building. So I usually just end up looking up the best decks to see what works, so I can do my dailies and be done with it. Get done with constructed so I can get back to drafting. That's usually my approach, but I don't know. Is there such a thing? Do they have net decks? Feel free to let me know this one. Are there net decks if I wanted to look to see what constructed decks people have put together that seem to be the best? Because it's not really a competitive card game, right? You're playing against the computer, and so far these battles have not been the most absurdly challenging. So having the most fine-tuned synergistic deck doesn't seem to be a hard requirement by any stretch. But who knows what the final duel is going to hold? Who knows what's going to happen when we go to return to either Leshy or returning to the monuments themselves? We might check in at both of those places next time and see exactly what is going to happen here. Magnificus, will he make an appearance once again? Has he disappeared for good? Who was the strange entity trapped within the robot that we talked to in the temple? What exactly is going on here? What's going to happen with Luke, who is, I guess, us? What will become of us, the challenger, in this whole sequence of events? It's crazy. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen next time. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.